Cool. So let's go ahead and move on to the next item on the business list. Mr. Dave Molter's here tonight. I think Rob's got to change the shot real quick, so I'm just going to talk for a second. Oh, look at that. There's a picture of Dave Molter. So Dave's based out of Pittsburgh and submitted his music to be a featured artist a few months back. And that's good stuff. So I decided to have him on. Dave, welcome to the show.
Oh, me?
Hey, thanks. Happy to be here.
Good. So I'm glad you agreed to come on and they're hanging out with us tonight. You're on time and you look good and you sound good and this is going to be fun. So we're going to have a little Dave on Dave action here in a minute. First, I want you. I thought of that.
Is that like man on dog?
Yeah.
No, but this is when I give the featured artist a chance to kind of give us your elevator pitch. You know, if I walked up to you on the street and said, "Oh man, you're a musician. What is your music like? Tell us what you do, and tell us a little bit about Fading Away." We'll check out a snippet and come back and get deeper with Dave.
Okay. Well, I've been in the business for more than 50 years, which kind of gives away my age. But my primary influence is the Beatles, and that goes along with age too. But I've always been influenced by melodic rock more than rap or anything like that. I don't like hip or hop, so that kind of leaves me out. But yeah, the Beatles, I think with a lot of guys of my generation, that was the gear that set me in motion. And I did it for a living for a long time, and then I kind of fell out of the business and retired from my real job, which was as a writer, about 5 years ago, and decided I should pursue music again. And I've been doing that for the last 5 years. Sweet. And within the last 18 months or so, we decided we should go ahead and put out a CD, just so my son, who's 31, will have something to show his friends and say, "Hey, look, my dad wasn't the idiot that you thought he was."
Yeah.
Cool. So tell us about Fading Away, and then we'll check it out and come back and get a little deeper.
Well, Fading Away is not what I would call influenced by the Beatles or the British Invasion, which a lot of my music is. It's more what I consider Stax Volt or Memphis horns, maybe a little bit of Motown. You can hear that from the horns in there. And most of my songs, I try to tell some kind of story. If you listen to the lyrics in this, you'll hear that it's about a guy whose girlfriend's been cheating on him, and that's a universal theme. And I was particularly proud in this song, of the lyrics in this song, that I used the word Elvis and I didn't rhyme it with pelvis. Seems the obvious rhyme. So yeah, it's this guy's had enough and he feels like he's fading away.
Sweet. So Rob, whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and check out the new song by Dave Molter, Fading Away, on Indie Music Live, episode 177. We'll be right back.
To think that we had something really special. We would be together for a long, long time. But now I see that it was only superficial.
So if anyone was wondering where I'm going to be in about 30 years, I'm probably going to have like a thick gray beard, dark glasses, wearing some kind of funky hat. I'm probably going to be on an indie music show talking about my new album that I finally got back to after all this time. Basically, the guy next to me right now, that's me in 30 years, pretty much.
That is the pattern. All the kids are doing it right now. Yeah.
So, but yeah, how's it going, Dave? Nice to meet you.
Everything's going really great. I can't have no complaints at all.
Yeah, so I mean, you look at the wide spectrum of the music scene over the past, I don't know, 100 years, and I mean, some people, they give it a shot and it never works out. Some people achieve tremendous heights in the industry for a short period and then disappear. But some people just keep going the whole time, you know, and
That's
just
true.
keep writing, because it's not really about like how high you achieve in the success. It's just about making art and just keeping going. And if you can make a living at it, what a bonus. I mean, how do you feel about that?
I think that's true. Back when I was 18 or 19, I suppose I wanted to be the next Beatles, because we all did. And I actually had out a couple of 45s in the early 70s, and those died a quick, painless death. I think I sold 5 copies of one, and there were 6 guys in the band, so one of us didn't buy one. And as soon as I find out who it was, I'll be getting. So I continued after the records on the club circuit, and did that for a while. And then one day I woke up in my mid-30s and said, so life kind of intruded, and I kind of dropped out of the music scene and had a real job, which I hated, for about 20 some years, and a series of jobs, all of which I hated. But for me, music is always, I tell everybody it's better than sex. And that means either I've had really bad sex, or that it could be true that music is.
Well, when you finish, I agree. When you finish the mix and it's just exactly like how you like it, it's just like total ecstasy at that moment.
Yeah, and it's great. I can't get that feeling from anything else. So I really enjoy it. And
all right, Dave, let's move on, man. So
yeah.
Some of the bands you open for, the Rascals, Chicago, Allman Brothers, Night Ranger. I mean, anything pop out in terms of just like a totally crazy, memorable experience?
Well, we opened for the Allman Brothers in, I think it was 1971. And as you know, there's anybody who's pretty identifiable, it would be the Allman Brothers. And our organ player was a bit out of it. So we told him, go ask Greg Allman if you can use his organ. So he walked up to Greg and said, are you in the Allman Brothers? And Greg sort of looked at him and said, yeah, I'm in the Allman Brothers. So strange things like that. And then their roadies tried to steal my coat, but that's
Did he let him play the piano?
He did, yeah.
He did, okay. All right. All right, man. So just kind of flipping through your references here in terms of how you've created your current sound. I mean, I was hearing some, it might have been Tom Jones, actually, instead of Neil Diamond that I just heard. In terms of that, like, it's like bluesy, rocky, but almost like a big band. There's some jazz elements in there. But yeah, 1 second. So I'm going to throw some names at you listed as references. Why don't you just say a few words on what they mean to you and how they've influenced your career? Phil Spector.
Well, Phil was the ultimate producer, at least until George Martin came along. And certainly any Phil Spector production, you can tell it's Phil with the amount of echo and the old wall of sound.
Yep.
I liked everything Phil did until he tampered with Let It Be. And then I kind of lost all respect for him.
Really? That was it for you, huh?
Yeah, I thought he made it too syrupy and drenched in reverb and things that it didn't need.
All right, Brian Wilson.
Well, he kind of copied Phil Spector, but I think musically, Brian was as close to a genius as anybody will ever get. And he pushed the envelope of a lot of different things. Just subject matter like God Only Knows, I believe, was the first time anybody ever used the word God in a lyric. And being a bass player, I always appreciated the fact that he didn't always play the root note, which is what everybody was locked into back then. And Paul McCartney kind of followed suit on that.
Interesting. All right, Peter Gabriel.
Well, Peter, I've liked him ever since he was in Genesis. And as soon as he left Genesis, I didn't like Genesis anymore. So I've followed Peter mainly because he's such an iconoclast. You never know what style of music he's going to do next. And certainly he's done a lot for world music and undiscovered African artists, and just been a real influence on me for subject matter and also styles of background.
Yeah, man. In Your Eyes has been a top 5 song of mine my entire life. It just always gets me. I just love the writing and the production of that one.
Exactly.
It's one of those songs that I purposely only listen to like once or twice a year, so that I can extend the experience I get for as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Where can people find you, Dave? Okay, I have the website. Let me just say the website. It's davemoltermusic.com. You'll see all this stuff there. But do you use like social media and everything, or you kind of?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Same thing, Dave Molter Music. I have a Twitter account, and that one is Molter Dave for some strange reason.
Ooh.
I'm also on Reverb Nation, and that under just Dave Molter. So you can find biographical information and songs, pictures, all kinds of good stuff.
All right, Dave. So in some of my critiques, I usually go pretty far back in terms of references, 60s, 50s and everything.
Yeah.
So if you come back to the show as a critic, I think you can maybe go even farther, which would be a treat for us. So think about that, man. Joe will be in touch with you.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.